Hi, I'm Brett Larkin, and this is a meditation for you to meet or get in touch with your spirit animal. What I've been told is that we all have one primary spirit animal, but that other spirit animals may come into our lives at key moments. I also wanted to share a product I really love, which is this beautiful card deck called Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides. So I offer this as a resource to you in the link below this video. Before we begin, take a quick moment to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think your spirit animal is going to be. And then at the end, you can see if it matched up with your prediction or not. For now, find a comfortable seat or lie down, and we're going to begin the meditation, which is primarily a visualization. So if you want to lie down for this one, no problem. Wherever you are, close your eyes and begin to tune into your breath. If you're lying down, just notice the rise and fall of your belly. The rise and fall of your chest. And if you're seated, just imagine everything relaxing down. So there's no effort, even if you have a tall spine. You want to get really comfortable here. And then visualize yourself opening your eyes and finding yourself in a huge golden field with wheatgrass that comes up to your hips. And the sun is sparkling down upon you. And you're walking through this grass. And there is no one around for hundreds of miles. And your fingertips are grazing the wheat as you just walk forward slowly, one step at a time. You feel very sure of yourself. You feel very confident about where you are, and there's no fear, just awe at the beauty of the field, of the landscape. And when you look to your right, you see beautiful blue-gray mountains rising out of the fields into the distance, into the horizon for as far as you can see. It almost takes your breath away. And when you look to the left, the field's descending into a kind of beach where the wheat ends and some grass and sand begin. You hear this faint sound of the ocean or of waves lapping. And you decide to walk towards this sound. So you walk through the field, fingertips grazing the wheat as you go, the sun shining upon your face. You just have this calm relaxation. And then finally you see the water. It's a very, very deep blue. And the waves aren't big. They're just kind of lapping up onto the shore. It's very gentle waves. And you feel the wheat begin to get thinner as more grass appears below your feet. And then you feel the coolness of the sand as you step onto the beach and just walk towards the ocean. It's so warm, but not uncomfortably so. So you put your toe into the water just to see, test it out. and it's warm like a lukewarm bath. And you're just listening to the small waves lapping up onto the shore. And you take another step in, so both feet are in the water. And the sun shining down on your face just feels so good, and the temperature of the water feels so right that you just keep walking in until you're up to your knees, until the water's up to your waist. There's just so much natural beauty surrounding you, and there's no one else around. As far out into the distance as you can see, there's just ocean, and behind you there's just fields that turn into mountains. There's just so much regalness, so much pristineness in the beauty that's around you. And then you dive on in to the water. And underwater, your eyes can easily open, and it's this light emerald blue-green. You can see the sand, you can see fish, you can see seaweed, and you're just swimming underwater. And for whatever reason, you don't need to come up for air, you don't need to come up for breath. You can just keep swimming underwater. A beautiful orange fish passes by. Other marine life passes by, and you're not scared, you're just so happy. You can still feel the sunlight shining down upon you through the water. And you keep swimming and swimming, even as the ocean floor begins to get steeper. So you're going deeper and deeper, just watching fish and beautiful pink coral and seaweed. And you don't need to come up for air, you don't need to breathe, you are just one with the water. And the sand starts to change color the deeper you go, getting a little darker. And you feel strong swimming. And it takes you a moment to realize, but you start to see in the distance what looks like a cave. You decide to swim towards it. It's like a kind of hole. It's coral around the outside, and then inside it's like this tunnel. So you swim up to it, and you peer into it, and it just seems to be this really long tunnel, and you thought it was a cave, but you think maybe that it'll lead to a cave. You decide to swim down this tunnel of coral. Even though it's black and kind of dark, and the rest of the sunlight fades away as you start swimming down, you're not afraid. And as you keep swimming, the tunnel gets narrower and narrower. It can get really dark. But there's a pinpoint of light, so you just keep swimming towards that. And even though the tunnel is getting narrower, you're not afraid. A fish that you saw before is still alongside you. You just keep swimming towards that pinpoint of light. The tunnel gets narrower and narrower. You're actually worried you're not going to be able to swim soon, but the pinpoint of light seems so close. And as you squeeze through towards it, you pop up out of the tunnel into a new body of water. And the sand is very, very yellow. And you realize it's very shallow. So you actually place your feet down and come to stand and see that you are in a cave. And inside the cave is this small pond, and it's almost like you're inside a seashell. And it's so warm, and it's so bright. You're wondering if you're in the center of the earth or in a cave in the middle of the ocean. You don't know, but you just keep walking up towards the beach. And there's some rocks on the beach inside this beautiful seashell cave. And you've done a lot of swimming. So you're out of breath and you just kind of collapse onto the shore. And you can just see that inside of this whole seashell there's sand and there's this pond of water. And you just lie down and you feel so safe. And you feel so warm. And you fall asleep because you swam so far. And then you hear the sound of very gently lapping water. When you wake up, it takes you a moment to remember where you are. That you're inside this seashell. And then you see from behind one of the rocks nearby your spirit animal coming towards you, emerging. Maybe from the water, maybe from behind the rocks, maybe from above you. But it approaches you regally, and you look into one another's eyes, and there is this deep recognition. You know that this is your spirit animal and that they're here to guide you and help you, and you feel so connected with this animal. There's almost this moment of introduction or exploration as your animal approaches you and you approach it. Maybe you circle one another, or you reach out to pet it, or it crawls into your lap. You figure out how to engage with one another. And you recognize some aspect of yourself in the animal's eyes, in the animal's gait, in the way the animal carries itself. And then you play together. Maybe in the water, or maybe in the sand. You just engage with one another. And it's playful and fun. And you feel so connected to this animal spirit. You feel so whole in its presence. And after the two of you play for a while, and come back to the beach near the spot where you were first resting, you know it's time to go home to say goodbye to your spirit animal soon, and you do feel sad about that, but you have a moment now in which you can ask your spirit animal a question. So ask a question. It can be anything. And see what your spirit animal says to you. Nice, and then approach or embrace or engage with your spirit animal in any way that feels appropriate to say goodbye. Goodbye for now. And then your spirit animal disappears and leaves you the same way it came, so either from behind a rock or back into the ocean or sort of magically from the sky. It fades away. And you're sitting on the sand where you took your nap and just feeling content and amazed at what happened. And as much as you want to stay inside this beautiful seashell cave forever, you know you have to go back home. So you wade into the water of this little pond within the seashell. And then you dunk your head under and you find the hole, the tunnel from which you came. And you swim towards the hole, that narrow hole. And then you keep swimming and swimming as the tunnel broadens and gets wider. Very slowly. Wider and wider. So it's dark once again, but the wider the tunnel gets, the more light. Until the tunnel begins to widen so much that you start to hear the familiar sounds and sensations of the larger ocean. And you see some of the fish and the sea creatures that you saw on the way in. And you swim past them. In the ocean now, big broad strokes, all underwater. Just taking in the beauty of what's underneath in the ocean. Swimming and swimming. And then you see the sand start to rise. And then magically, the sand is close enough to touch. And you set down your feet, pop your head up. And you look from where you came, just your head is above water, you're standing on your feet, your shoulders are still in the water, just your head is out. And you see ahead of you the beach and the fields of gold and the mountains of the deepest blue. You feel so lucky. Now you wade out of the water, and the sun is still so strong, so you're not cold. You just dry off naturally as you emerge. And you walk back up the beach, and back up the moss and the grass, and back into the fields, towards where you started. And then you stand and turn back and look over the ocean and the beach from the fields, and you see the sun is just beginning to set. The sky is maybe just getting a little pink. You feel warm, and you feel happy, and you feel content. Take a deep breath in and store this contentedness somewhere in your body. Take one more deep in-breath into the belly. And exhale, relax all the way. Slowly move your fingers and your toes. Maybe draw one knee into the chest and then the other if you're lying down, or just fold forward if you're sitting up. And very slowly open your eyes. Thank you so much for doing this guided visualization with me. If you like this video, hit the like button. And please comment below. Let me know what your spirit animal was. Was it different from what you expected? And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much. From my heart to yours, always. Namaste.